your vagina, which is a pelvic organ prolapse. There's also a thing as rectal prolapse.
So the last time I responded to a physical therapist on this app, I deeply regretted it, but I'm going to go again because this video has a lot of views and there is a lot of misinformation in it that I wanted to address. So first of all, I am a big proponent of pelvic floor physical therapists. I have one myself. I also am a big proponent of diaphragmatic breathing, postpartum, and resting postpartum. So just to clear that totally, this is not some OBGYN that hates women. What I do hate is fear-mongering and misinformation and mixing of fact and fiction in just the right way to make people buy what you're selling, sign up for your email list and all of that. So I get it, but I just think it's really irresponsible to tell people that when they're postpartum, they should be in bed for 4 weeks. It's not only unrealistic, but it can be dangerous, especially if you had a C-section. When you get up and walk around, when we recommend that, it's not because we don't know anything about the pelvic floor and we don't care about it. We definitely have a long way to come in terms of obstetrics and caring about the pelvic floor and your core and things like that. But there are real risks to complete bed rest, like blood clots, like muscle atrophy. So I don't know what your plan is. I didn't try to get it or anything about active rest. And like I said before, resting immediately postpartum is very important. But saying to wait 4 weeks, it's not necessary. And it just creates even more of a barrier. It creates even more pressure on moms that already have things to worry about. They may have other kids, and you kind of address it in your other videos, but it is coming from a place of privilege and from a place of misinformation. So fear-mongering people into thinking that their organs are going to fall out if they walk before 4 weeks it's inaccurate. The risk factor for you to have pelvic organ prolapse is the fact that you were recently pregnant and then you had the baby. After delivery, once the placenta is out, we oftentimes see the cervix at the opening of the vagina. It's just there. So the damage is already done. If you do things postpartum that are very strenuous, you may increase your risk, you may worsen things, but it is not because you got out of bed and walked before 4 weeks that happened. Rectal prolapse is also a very rare complication to happen after a normal delivery, and it's definitely not because somebody walked 4 weeks postpartum. There is no gaping wound in your uterus that you are going to rupture or cause more bleeding from because you walked 4 weeks postpartum. I have a video discussing the idea of this wound. If you start bleeding because you get up and walk, it is because of gravity. The bleeding can come out faster. It may come out brighter because it didn't have time to pool in the top of the vagina. And when blood is in one place, it turns from red to dark. So that may cause you to appear that you're having more bleeding. If you're having more significant bleeding, it is, again, not because you walk too much. There may be something else going on. So I just feel like we need to be really careful with the information that we're putting out about this very sensitive time to a very vulnerable population that is so worried that they are doing the right thing for themselves and for their babies, because it is so easy to sway people, especially when you put out all these credentials and you sound like you know what you're talking about. I just wish we could do better.